What is happening, world? What is happening, chat? I might share this one out, eh? Plug it into the matrix. Let's see what we can do today. What I will be covering is some FTX news, some SEC news, some cryptocurrency news. Just change that to, I'm not sure if there's any @ symbol. So I'm just typing some stuff off stream now. Alright, this is where we're at. We have audio check. Okay. I guess I've said this so many times before. So many times before. What was SBF lobbying against? Appear somewhere? DeFi. What would have prevented this? DeFi. What exchanges already publish real-time proof of reserves? DeFi. You know, maybe Uniswap. Other exchanges like Uniswap, you know, decentralized ones where you can see the on-chain data. What will US regulators try and shut down? DeFi. Oh, it's so frustrating. As always, let's have a moan, a whinge. Let's unravel what we're being told. Top SEC official steps down following controversial meetings with Sam Bankman-Fried and FTX lobbyists. So this is relatively new. 29th of December 2022. We have here. Reportedly, Dan Berkowitz, general counsel at the Securities and Exchange Commission, has stepped down amid reports that he had met and dined with disgraced FTX founder Sam Bankman-Fried. So how deep does this rabbit hole actually go? Bearing in mind, you know, what was Sam SBF lobbying against? What would have prevented this? You know, what exchanges already published real-time proof of reserves? And what will US regulators try and shut down? Then we look at the article here. Top SEC official steps down following controversial meetings with SBF and FTX lobbyists. Okay. Now this could be a crazy conspiracy theory, so this is just data that you can interpret. So if you're analyzing this, you can update your worldview as we stumble across this sort of information. Now, in a recent announcement, the SEC said that Berkowitz is departing his role at the agency effective January 31st. Megan Barbero, I haven't heard anything about her. Currently SEC Principal Deputy General Counsel, will be appointed General Counsel following his departure. It goes on to read, Berkowitz was an ally of FTX. What? How? The fuck? Okay, I'll repeat that. Berkowitz was an ally of FTX within the Financial Regulation Agency and had meetings with Bankman-Fried and other crypto lobbyists. Crypto lobbyists, right? They're talking about centralized exchanges. And what would have, you know, prevented all this? The Washington Examiner. Where was I? Wasn't sure I was streaming. All good. Now, it goes on to say he was an ally of FTX, Berkowitz, and within the Financial Regulatory Agency. Oh my god. And had meetings with Bankman-Fried and other crypto lobbyists. The Washington Examiner reported, and we've got the article here and the links. The outlet claimed that it has viewed emails that suggest SEC official had a warm relationship with SBF. I'm speechless. Speechless on air. The emails were initially obtained by the watchdog Protect the Public's Trust. Michael Chamberlain, director of Protect the Public's Trust, said, if ever there were a scene to conjure up a division of a DC rigged toward corrupt insiders at the expense of the little guy, it would be difficult to top this one. Not long before its collapse and a raft of fraud charges SBF and his gang were wooing. Okay, we'll leave it there. This one, next in line. SBF was meeting senior White House officials shortly before the FTX collapse. Now, this is Zero Hedge, so we can read this briefly, this section. Again, this is data for you to digest and update your worldview if you feel it necessary to do so. That you might get a better result if you're an analyst or something like that. Anyway. FTX founder and accused crypto crook Sam Bankman-Fried met with senior White House officials on at least 4 occasions in the months leading up to his firm's massive implosion, Bloomberg reports. Okay, so we'll read this a little bit, then we'll go over to the Bloomberg article. On September 8th, reportedly SBF met with senior Biden advisor Steve Ricchetti in a previously unreported encounter, while White House officials similarly with the matter said this meeting was the latest in a handful of sessions, according to the report. Okay, so what were they, lobbying for? Bankman-Fried had at least 3 other previously disclosed in the White House visitor logs. They include one April 22nd, another May 12th, each with Ricchetti, and one a day later on May 13th, with Bruce Reed, another another senior Biden aide. Officials confirmed the final meetings is recorded in logs as 2 meetings held back to back, but was 1 meeting, officials said. Some of the prior White House meetings included others from the FTX, from Bloomberg. What's more, Bankman-Fried's brother, Gabriel, had a March meeting of his own and was also at the May 13 meeting, bringing the total number of up to 5 meetings that involved one or both brothers. That looks like a typo. Now, we have here, according to one source, politics were not discussed, despite SBF being a Democrat mega donor, credited as a major factor in the President Biden's 2020 win. I did not know that. Instead, the brothers allegedly talked about general matters related to the crypto industry and exchanges, as well as pandemic prevention related to the foundation Guarding Against Pandemics, run by Gabe Bankman-Fried, according to an official. SBF now faces several criminal charges related to the collapse of FTX. His ties to Washington have come under the microscope since the collapse of his exchange, as Bankman-Fried gave millions of dollars to Democratic politicians, becoming the party's 2nd largest individual donor. In the 2022 session, one person familiar with the meetings, speaking on condition they not be identified, said that politics was not discussed at the White House meetings. While Bankman-Fried, or SBF as he's known, lived in the Bahamas, he made frequent trips to Washington, testifying before Congress and meeting with key regulators, including the Securities and Exchange Commission and the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, SEC, CFTC, as well as with White House officials, Bloomberg reported. According to US prosecutors, SBF allegedly conspired with others to use corporate funds and shadow donors for political contributions and illegally commingled billions of dollars of customers' funds lent to his trading arm, Alameda Research. Left-wing radicals are attempting to destroy... I won't continue that. Now, let's go to the source document. Here we go. Source report, source article, source information. Bankman-Fried met with White House aides on crypto policy before FTX collapse. So that is where this whole article started. Now, Bankman-Fried met senior Biden aide Ricchetti on September 8th. FTX mogul held other White House meetings in spring, logs show. It goes on to be behind a paywall, so we'll see if we can't fix that. Show how you do that. Now, yeah, goes on to explain what I covered previously. Next in line, we have who would be the judge in the FTX fraud case. It's reported that the judge in the FTX fraud case stepped down because her husband works for a firm that advised Sam Bankman-Fried's crypto exchange last year. Again, how intertwined is all of this cryptocurrency, specifically FTX? You know, it just happens to be that the judge happened to, you know, have her husband work for a firm that advised the same crypto exchange. Meanwhile, the same individual was meeting with White House aides on crypto policy. What was SBF lobbying against? What would have prevented this? When exchanges already published real-time proof of data, proof of reserves, and what will regulators try to shut down? But we have more. So we'll look at cryptocurrency. 2000, this is from investing.com, 2022 top crypto events and the 2023 crypto outlook: drama, contagion, and hope. Now it's going through a recap: quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3. Don't care to read on air, but this will be interesting. Quarter 4, maybe a lot of FTX stuff like that. And quarter 1, I guess, or the whole year of 2023 outlook: regulation, CBDC's growths and struggles. The impact of many negative events through the year is likely to continue into the new year. Many markets commentators expect the domino effect to continue to the interconnectedness of crypto companies. Again, these are centralized exchanges affecting quite often, and as we saw with FTX, the arguably sophisticated investor, like larger than a retail investor, I would say. I'd have to research that though, just to be sure. But you know, many famous people have been named as being affected by the FTX collapse. Countries that have so far been slow to regulate crypto may take concrete steps to control the market in 2023. Okay, what are they going to control? How are they going to control? What are they targeting? You know, is it going to be DeFi or is it going to be centralized exchanges? I have no qualms with centralized exchanges to a degree being regulated, because they already are. People already have to pay whatever amounts due on it relative to their country. They also, you know, have to, I guess, KYC. And I think someone said once it was like going to the toilet. It's unnecessary. I thought that was pretty funny. But yeah, beyond that, what exactly are they going to try and regulate against? What they're going to, you know, oh, maybe they, yeah, anyway. Do I read it again? SBF was lobbying against DeFi. What could have prevented this? You know, what exchanges publicly publish proof of reserves? And what will US regulators try and shut down? We'll be watching this. We'll be watching this. Now, we have here steps to control the market, especially as individual investors have also suffered serious losses from 2022's various incidents. So it's never happened before in crypto. Like, I don't know where these people were in 2017, 2018. Maybe it didn't matter to them. I don't know. The threat of contagion from the cryptocurrency sector to traditional finance has also been increasingly discussed as a reason to increase regulation. Oh, really? Okay. To discuss increasing regulation. Yeah, okay. Read the queue again. Continue on. So 2023 may be referred as a year of regulation for crypto markets. Oh my god. On the other hand, there may be important developments in the field of central bank digital currencies, which countries have been working on for several years. Countries have already expressed their intention to compete with the crypto sector using the same technology. Thus, we may the same technology. Yeah, sure they are. I'm sure they're going to have an open blockchain that we can all read. Thus, we may see a new front opened against cryptocurrencies with central bank digital currencies. That is very close extremely close. 2023, they're talking central bank digital currencies, the stuff that was unheard of a decade ago. Anyway, it is worth noting that even though the negativity caused institutional investors to exit the market in large amounts in 2022, many financial giants decided to expand their services into the crypto space throughout the year and establish various strategic partnerships in this direction. Go figure. The movement of these companies in the coming year may create the means for institutional money to return to the crypto space depending on more favorable macroeconomic conditions. I don't disagree with that. What should not be overlooked is the troubling events of 2022 are likely to be continue in 2023. The crypto industry may continue to be under pressure in 2023 due to liquidity shortages and fear of contagion. Okay, that is what it is. Now, we do have here, US Virgin Islands claims JP Morgan Chase turned a blind eye to Jeffrey Epstein's trafficking ring, by Breitbart. Again, you can go to the source document here and form your own opinion if you choose to read it or not. We have here, the United States Virgin Island Attorney General Dennis George claimed banking giant JP Morgan Chase turned a blind eye to evidence of Jeffrey Epstein's alleged sex trafficking operation, according to federal lawsuit filed Tuesday. Upon information and belief, JP Morgan turned a blind eye to evidence of human trafficking over more than a decade because of Epstein's own financial footprint, the lawsuit states. And we have here this article we'll go over next briefly. The lawsuit alleges that JP Morgan Chase benefited from Epstein's sex trafficking operation and helped conceal activities that occurred on his property by failing to properly comply with federal regulations on reports and reporting that may have tipped off Epstein's activities to US officials before they eventually came to light. Financial institutions can connect or choke human trafficking networks, and enforcement actions filed and injunctive relief obtained by attorneys general are essential to ensure that enterprises like Epstein's cannot flourish in the future, George wrote in the complaint. You know, it's pretty straightforward, but yeah, somehow this was allowed to flourish, reportedly. Here we go. The Hill, US Virgin Islands sues JP Morgan. Allegedly, it turned a blind eye to Jeffrey Epstein. Now, that's not unheard of in the banking sector, where some banks, if you look them up, failed in large ways and were fined heavily because of shit like this. Not specifically this, but very similar circumstances. Have a look it up. You'll find some stuff in Australia. The US Virgin Islands on Tuesday filed a lawsuit. Yeah, so basically repeating what I just said before, because yeah, again, this was the source document. Now, this is the next thing we have, which is Central Bank of Turkey runs its first central bank digital runs its first CBDC test. So I thought, well, how can I tie this in? All right. What's Turkey? Oh, it's a country of NATO. Okay, so if NATO, which is NATO, consists of who and countries within NATO, maybe, just maybe, if some countries in NATO start using central bank digital currencies, there might be a push for all of them to use it. Now, what are all the countries in NATO? That's a lot of countries that could be potentially looking to use central bank digital currencies. And according to one article from investing.com, it might be as early as 2023. Yay. I can't believe it. Now, this one I thought I would cover because, it's BBC. Indians told not to panic over China's COVID surge. Kind of logical, This one was pretty interesting as well. Researchers discuss recent quantum computer wormhole model. Now, as I said before, depending on what computer you use, will depend on what results you get. This computer that they used was the Google Sycamore quantum processing system. Never heard of this thing in my life, so I decided let's have a look at this and what this is. The Google Sycamore is a quantum computer developed by Google AI Quantum. Google's Sycamore chip is based on a type of quantum computing called superconducting qubits, which uses electric currents flowing through superconducting materials to store and process information. It's pretty damn fascinating. Let's have a look here. What have we got? Jesus. Quantum journey from search engine to Google Sycamore. Google Sycamore. God damn. Google Sycamore chip, 54 qubits, capable of performing calculation in 200 seconds. That would take a classical computer 10,000 years to complete. Imagine the brute force attacks with that beast. Don't know from a technical aspect what that even is, but one could imagine what could be achieved with quantum computing like this. Some fast nodes. This was the basis of Google's quantum supremacy achievement, which was widely hailed as a major milestone in the development of quantum computing and has spurred further research and development in this field. Imagine this thing's offspring. It's when it doubles. Gotta be insane. Now, we have here, this is why I think we may need, well, some people, if they choose to, maybe need to get involved in politics. Should they choose, should, I don't know, cryptocurrencies like take off, like Hex, for example, Pulse Chain, Pulse X, and the whole Richard Hart ecosphere. I can imagine a point in time where you're financially free, you've met all your obligations to do so, to continue to pursue your dreams or whatever you choose to spend, or however you choose to spend your time. Maybe politics is one of them, and you might be able to speak up against things that you don't feel is correct, or point out data points that may have been overlooked. So Australian Senator takes hard stand against COVID jabs. He basically stood up and gave a pretty damn good speech. Now, I won't go through it here, I will put a link at the bottom, but what this process enables you to do, or I, or anyone, is get up and talk about how their political thoughts, and maybe how we can, you know, influence change. So maybe we can explain to them that, you know, oh, SBF was lobbying against DeFi, but would have prevented this DeFi, and what exchanges already published real-time proof of reserves, DeFi, on-chain data, and, you know, what will US regulators try to shut down, DeFi, and what will Australia probably most likely follow, the US. So then we get this. So I'm going through, I thought I've got to try and cover some Australian news. We're pretty damn boring over here. There's not a lot. I mean, beyond like, say, weather, sport, some crimes, shit like that. Some other kind of interesting stuff. It's all like, yeah, like, what is this? Charles Nightmare, Harry and Meghan's fresh bloated one. It's like, I don't know. Some other kind of interesting stuff. We've got the Tate stuff. We've got the Putin stuff. This is all world news, you know. Nothing's actually much is happening in Australia. We do have a massive glitch in a couple of major banks, which kind of sucks. We've got the US Chinese thing. What do we got? But I'll try and find something in like relation to cryptocurrency. And what did I find? Oh, for some reason we have people here attacking McDonald's workers. I'm not sure where they've seen this, you know, or anyway. Again, Australia follows the US. Everything. So this is the cryptocurrency news we're getting. None of the how deep the rabbit hole goes, but we've got a disgraced CEO visited by glam influencer. Now, I remember this lady on Twitter. I discovered her. She's ripping into Celsius a lot, and then I think she lost a lot of money. That's why she's ripping into them. Basically, I thought it was kind of funny. And she's like blown up, and it's like insane to see, and see the amount of Twitter followers just skyrocket. But now it's so this is the cryptocurrency news we got here. Meanwhile, anyway, this is, surprisingly optimistic with crypto influencer. So a crypto influencer, respectfully, is someone who's lost a lot of their money through
the founder and former CEO of failed cryptocurrency exchange FTX will be released from a US jail on bail. Sam Bankman-Fried has been ordered to pay a bond over $375 million and won't be allowed to leave his parents' house until the conclusion of his fraud trial. He allegedly stole billions of dollars in FTX customer funds to cover the losses of his hedge.
Let's have a look at some hex. 1.8 cents. Painful. Extremely painful. Now, do I want to say it could just skyrocket tomorrow? Could it really? Could it really? Do you think, based on what we're seeing a lot of selling and not much buying? Do you really think it's going to do that? I honestly don't. It's not to FUD the price, it's just to be realistic from day to day. What is your opportunity going to be? Do you perceive this as an opportunity? Do you purchase at a lower price, dollar cost average in or something like that? Or do you think it's Armageddon, it's going to zero and just sell everything, emergency end state? That's crazy. Honestly don't know what to say at this point. If you believe in the system, if you have seen what the system has done, 100% uptime, and it keeps producing more of itself, maybe one day one hex token might be worth a lot more than it is today, and maybe it might be harder to obtain those T-shares way out in the future, and maybe more people will be staking because they'll realize this. And then just maybe, I don't know, I could be wrong, my analysis could be wrong, but if it becomes more valuable, the price goes up. Generally the system, will produce less APY. The minimum, I guess it's the minimum, would be the 3.69%. If 100% of people were staked, and in a situation where an environment where everyone was staked because the price was worth so much on any chain, then you would see it would be harder to get T-shares. I think someone pasted a graph on how T-shares seem to be going lower. So as they go down and to the right, the price goes up and to the right of the T-share price, with actual T-shares in existence seem to be, from my analysis, I could be wrong, seem to be reducing in overall totals based on how the entire system functions. But yeah, anyway. I thought I'd close on this one. This is funny. Thank you for reacting to what's happening, Tin Top. I'm just closing out. I'm just signing out now. This is free speech. I found the Lord of free speech, right? Thank you for reacting to all my shit. I like your tits. On that note, signing out.